Tonight, we're taking you all across Colorado, from a new speakeasy celebrating African heritage
to new holiday lights that are representing Colorado's wildlife.
Plus, a look at Colorado broadcasting legend Harry Hoth and his legacy that spans decades.
So, whether you're tuning in for food, culture, history, or holiday fun, we've got something special for you.
Studio 12 starts right now.
From the Five Points Media Center in the heart of Denver, Colorado, this is Studio 12.
Hi, I'm Bazi Kanani.
And I'm Ryan Harrer. Welcome to Studio 12.
Tonight, we're taking you somewhere extraordinary, a place where food, community, and culture blend together beautifully.
We're talking about the new Trybal African Speakeasy in downtown Denver. We sat down with the owners to hear their story, sample delicious cuisine, and explore the authentic African art that fills the space.
So we are Trybal, and this is a homage to Africa.
Hi, welcome to Trybal.
I'm from Douala in Cameroon, and Douala is basically the economical capital of Cameroon.
I'm from Cameroon, so I'm from Yaoundé, which is the political capital.
I used to do a lot of Afrobeats events, big African parties in Denver and other cities as well. I started feeling a little homesick, like I was away from my family and I wasn't really seeing any kind of cultural establishment that made me feel like I was reconnecting with home. So then I started doing the parties, and then from the parties I was like, hey, there's actually a lot of people seeking culture here. My crowd was kind of outgrowing the party and the nightclub scene a little bit. They still wanted a way to enjoy African culture. And that's how I came up with the idea of opening a speakeasy. It's much more than a speakeasy and a restaurant. There's a whole lot of culture that is tied to, how we grew up, what we saw growing up. Africa is so misrepresented away from Africa. It takes sometimes people to go to Africa to be like, wow, nothing I've known about Africa my whole life is even the case. We wanted to build a space where we actually control the narrative and what people are seeing about African culture.
Let's start on the door, right?
You guys have a QR code?
When he came up with the idea of the learning path, that you got to learn something, I was like, yeah, we do. We have to do this because, you might have never known anything about Africa, but that 1 second you take to answer a question of hey, what's the capital of this, or where is this located? And then, you kind of the next thing is maybe I should look this up.
On our website, there's a button. When you click on that, it takes you to a standalone page, which is basically giving you a lesson about a random fact about Africa. It changes all the time. So you can actually read that simple fact in less than a minute and answer one quiz question, which would generate a QR code for you. And that's the QR code that we scan for you to come in, basically unlocking entry for you into the speakeasy. We're not trying to check people's knowledge. We're trying to help them learn something.
Well, I did it.
Initially when we started this being a speakeasy, we didn't intend to be a fully established restaurant. We wanted to have African food bites. So if you think about in the Spanish culture, tapas, right? We wanted to just kind of be that, but we also felt like there might be some people here that might be a little hungry. So we introduced the motherland plate that you saw, which is kind of the plate that is shaped as the African continent. That's been the most sold plate since we opened. And it's doing numbers, and everybody's hungry. I thought it was gonna be a portion of people hungry, but everybody comes in here and they want everything.
A variation of plates. We have our beef suya, we have our chicken suya. Then we have our motherland plate, which is a combination of everything that we do. So you have jollof rice, plantains or roasted potatoes, veggies, chicken or beef or shrimp. And then we also obviously have our suya powder, African tradition, and the reme sauce that we made, house-made as well.
Oh my gosh, that sauce. It's amazing.
When we started this, the goal was we want to represent all the countries. We want to make sure everyone feel represented. But, it's easier said than done sometimes. You have to start somewhere.
The amazing part of this concept is not just that we're offering food to others, but it's also the discovery and the learning experience that we are having about other countries in Africa as well, so we could properly bring it to the people.
I'm making for you today Trybal's Espresso Martini. Here we like to specialize in using things particular to Africa. That's no different than with this martini here. And then we top it off with a little secret spice. And that is all there is to it. Go ahead and get you a sip of that.
The art, I really take it to heart because, I remember being a kid in the streets of Douala, Cameroon, going to the market with my mom. At the entrance of the market, you see a lot of people on the street that are very artistic because they're not getting a lot of spaces inside because it's too expensive. So they're just on the street with a lot of the artwork, the paintings, and a lot of pieces, right? So when we built this space, I wanted to create a shelf space for them where they basically get visibility into, and people seeing the work that they have been doing. Now we're able to buy art from them at a premium and switch it every couple of months and sell it back here. So these guys now are very encouraged in Africa to continue to exercise on the talent because they know they have a space overseas that is really showcasing their work, even if locally they're not getting a lot of recognition.
We do have like artists that are in Denver, that are in Colorado, Fort Collins, wherever, that are Africans, that are like, that can represent Africa in some way. For example, the mural on the wall, it's a Denver-based artist that drew it. We want people to be able to soak in all of those different things because, as she said, all of those little pieces, they have a message. You ask us anything, there's a story behind it. Like anything that was installed in here or that was built in here, had a story and there's a reason why it's here. She said the lights, because most flags, they have like just 3 stripes. These lights are divided into 3 columns. They represent countries.
The whole thing is very, very intentional. Even the lights, like it was important that it was those lights are handmade. The lady makes it one at a time, which kind of gives homage to like the artisans in Africa that do a lot with very little. We want to really put everything to build a unique spot because this has never been done before. African culture is a very inviting culture. If you guys ever get the chance to go to Africa, and I hope you do, people are gonna want to feed you. Like they want you to eat, they want you to drink, they want you to dance, they want you to have fun. We just want people to feel like this is a home away from home. On behalf of African culture, the part that I take to heart the most is I want people to understand that this was built by Africans but brought to everyone and anyone. So I want when people they leave here, they want to feel like, wow, I truly had a unique experience. I want to tell everybody about it. This is an African-owned establishment that is run by Africans but is being brought to everyone and anyone. It was important that people come in here, they are able to respect the culture but also enjoy it.
What a cool space. Can't wait to see the inside myself. Our PBS 12 crew said they truly felt like they were inside a place rich in heritage and full of heart, too. You can tell by those 2 gentlemen. They said they can't wait to go back.
I can't wait to check it out. To find out more about their menu and upcoming events, you can head to their website, trybalspeakeasy.com, and try a taste of something different. Holiday lights are up and sparkling all across Colorado this time of year, and some of the brightest ones of the season are back at Chatfield Farms in Littleton.
PBS 12's Erica McClarity bundled up and took her family to find out what's new this year at the Trail of Lights.
At Denver Botanic Gardens Chatfield Farms, the holidays arrive in a blaze of color. This Deer Valley landscape is transformed into a magical outdoor wonderland. Welcome to the Trail of Lights. It's a mile-long adventure with sparkling tunnels, twinkling trees, and there's some new surprises this year. It's incredible that for 15 years this landscape has lit up, but it didn't nearly start as big as it is today.
The beginning days were not near as spectacular as they are now, but we opened in 2008 on a very, very snowy evening, and we didn't have enough parking cleared for them all because people showed up in droves.
The event now draws tens of thousands of visitors, and that number keeps rising.
I mean, last year we had over 47,000 people, and I think we'll easily top that this year and probably a lot more.
What makes this holiday experience different? For Larry, it's the setting, a valley that glows like a storybook scene without the crowds so common at other holiday attractions.
One of the most interesting things about this show is it's down here in the Deer Creek Valley, And this whole valley is just lit up kind of like this enchanted place. It's never crowded out here.
Each year's transformation takes almost an entire year of planning, and one creative mind leads the look and feel of Trail of Lights.
My associate director, Chalene Salas, is the amazing creative force behind this. She has this amazing eye for color. Our signature tree this year is very abstract and very colorful, which is very unique. So she doesn't stick to just traditional Christmas colors.
The event has also become far more energy efficient. A full switch to LEDs has dramatically reduced power use.
It's made it a much more greener experience for everybody.
This year, one of the most ambitious additions yet. A Colorado wildlife scene glowing across the amphitheater.
It has a flowing river that comes off the slope of the amphitheater, and it has all these different Colorado wildlife arranged around it. A moose, a bear, a bighorn sheep, a porcupine, beaver, and we even have trout jumping out of the stream. And you can hear the rushing water as it comes down the slope.
For Chatfield Farms, Trail of Lights does more than celebrate the holidays. It introduces new visitors to a place full of gardens, wildlife, and year-round beauty.
I think it's an opportunity to discover some place you didn't really maybe know was even here. So we put up big flashy light shows to get you to come in. I'd love to watch the look on kids' faces when they first walk into this, and their whole light, their face lights up, not reflection-wise from the lights.
What do you think of the whole place?
I think it's nice when I hear the music and the lights play along with it.
Yeah, is that your favorite part?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think that it's just very spacious, very nice. It's not overcrowded. I like how pretty it is, the lights and the trees. And it's just so nice and warm. The people are nice, and they give you hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Oh, geez, you lose with hot chocolate. Now, what would you say to someone that's on the fence about coming? Or they're not sure, what would you say?
I'd be like, go now.
Go now. It's worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
Here now, the grandparents are bringing grandkids, and they remember coming here with their kids, so it's amazingly rewarding for me, having been here so long.
Larry has worked here for 2 decades and says the land and the people drawn to it are the reason he stays.
Well, I grew up in agriculture, so I've always been very rooted in the land. We do restoration of habitat and things on the property, and so it speaks to me. I could not imagine doing anything else.
From its humble beginnings to a glowing tradition for more than 60,000 people, Trail of Lights continues to grow and evolve, with new displays every year and a landscape that invites wonder.
Love you, babe.
And it remains one of our family's most enchanting holiday traditions.
Happy holidays!
Indeed, it does look like the holidays are off to a great start for the McClarity family.
Everybody was having fun, but Erica said she made one big mistake. Her only regret, she didn't bring gloves, and her hands were freezing. So remember your gloves. And if not, Erica was able to hold a cup of hot cider as a hand warmer.
A good solution. Trail of Lights runs through the holiday season at Denver Botanic Gardens Chatfield Farms. For more information, go to denverbotanicgardens.org.
While Colorado households are busy managing their budgets this holiday season, spending is being cut back at the state level as well.
Governor Polis says there's no wiggle room in order to balance the budget. Let's check in now with Kyle Dyer and the Colorado Inside Out team.
Hi, Bozzy and Ryan. You know, the month of December is not starting off easily for Governor Polis, as he now has had to extend a halt on state spending for several more months. The previous round of spending cuts expired at the end of November, but Colorado needs more time without new spending in order to balance the budget. It is a lot to take in, the severity of the fiscal picture, the uncertainty, the ripple effects. Fortunately, our insiders on Colorado Inside Out are breaking it all down. Let's check in now. We have talked a lot about the fiscal challenges facing Colorado, and they're serious enough that Governor Polis has now extended the current spending cuts through the end of February to free up another $265 million to balance the budget. Ed, what happens after the end of February? It seems like there will be even tougher choices down the road and cuts that will still need to be made.
I mean, there are a lot of tough choices coming up. I mean, let's not forget, we're following a $1.2 billion budget shortfall from last year with an $800 million budget shortfall this year. And a lot of what Polis is doing here is trying to cut around the edges. For example, one of the cuts that's extended with his executive order is he's rolling back 1.6% increases in reimbursement for Medicaid providers to flat. And that's what he's planning for again next year in the budget he's presented. And these are interesting choices. We talk a lot, especially on the national level, about Medicaid and cutting fat and cutting waste out of Medicaid. But at the same point, I've been very interested to see that the reaction to Polis's Medicaid spending pullbacks, which includes $334 million in pulling back on Medicaid spending proposed for next year by doing things like limiting the amount of benefits somebody could get or limiting reimbursements to certain providers. These are alarming hospitals. And the reason they're alarming them is they're saying, look, more people are coming in on Medicaid these days. And if they don't have Medicaid, we're not going to be able to get any money from them. And they said, particularly if you're cutting back on reimbursements for Medicaid, you're going to have providers that are not going to provide for Medicaid anymore. And those providers don't just treat Medicaid patients. They treat everyone. And suddenly we could see services disappearing because of lack of providers. I don't have an answer for you. I just want to frame how difficult this conversation is going to be in the budget this year.
Okay. All right, Chris.
Well, one area that we likely won't see cuts is in the wolf reintroduction program. And I hate to be a one-trick wonder, but I am going to bring this up. This governor sees this as his legacy to bring wolves, put them on the ground in Colorado because he says that's what the voters wanted. The vote was not a mandate by any means. It was a very narrowly passed measure. But in October, after we had had a special session to address budget shortfalls, we found out that the state had entered a contract with British Columbia to obtain 15 wolves for $400,000. Now, the feds stepped in. They put the kibosh on that. So it would not surprise me if Governor Polis does still try to broker an agreement with British Columbia, since they do have wolves they're willing to give, despite the Fed's intervention. We will see. I don't know how that would transpire. This comes at a time when CPW is having a lot of changes, and they're not good ones. We've seen Jeff Davis was asked to step down. It has been learned he stepped down, but it was at a request. And he's taken a new role within the Department of Natural Resources. And then yesterday, it is rumored and I believe confirmed that one of the Colorado Parks and Wildlife commissioners, Murphy Robinson, is stepping down. And he is somebody who has pushed back on wolf reintroduction, has asked thoughtful questions. And that leaves his seat open for another governor appointment, and it probably will be one that favors wolf reintroduction. So, really concerned. I think in 2026, we are going to see this governor double down on wildlife issues, not just wolves, but other species that is believed, such as prairie dogs, that they believe require protection.
Well, prairie dogs have gotten protection for a long time, but I'm going to leave them alone for now. It is interesting. I thought we were under a state freeze. There weren't supposed to be any new jobs. Right. And here's a new job created for Jeff Davis, who was ordered basically to leave, and they created this job for him. But no matter how you... What?
I was trying to be nice.
I know. No matter how you feel about the wolf introduction program, no one is crying wolf about the budget problems. There is no question. It is going to be so difficult at the legislature this year. And Pinnacle, which was kind of like the big solution, doesn't look like it's going to be the solution anymore. Certainly, these Medicaid cuts are so challenging, especially for rural hospitals. Yeah. It's not like they are doing boutique medical treatment. They are dealing with people who have no options out there. There's so few places to go. And with more people unable to afford health care of any kind, given what's going on right now as people try to find providers, there will be more people trying to go to hospitals, to the emergency rooms for care. So it's tough.
And Penn.
Yeah, I think healthcare is probably the most difficult aspect of this budget problem, because the reality is we all get sick, we all get injured, and no one's going to go untreated. They're going to go somewhere. The question is, how do you compensate the providers? Colorado has historically had a problem where we don't have enough doctors and or nurses to cover our entire geography just because of the challenges of distances and population density and everything. This just makes a bad situation even worse. Ed said 850 million was the whole. I was told yesterday it was $1 billion. What's 250 million among
between friends,
somewhere in
yeah.
there. It's not good. And the federal act, the big bill, cost the state about $700 million. So one thing that we as Coloradans ought to realize is not just the governor and the legislature who have made mistakes. There are other factors impacting the budget. The governor's done some temporary things. Most of them cannot last because a governor's ability to affect spending is limited. It has to be done in law by the legislature. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the trade-offs are. There's a lot of bills that are going to get introduced that are going to be killed in the first committee because there's no money.
Yeah. That was just one of the topics we spoke about on the latest edition of Colorado Inside Out. You can watch the entire episode on YouTube, the PBS Passport app, or listen in on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And make sure to catch our next episode coming up this Friday on PBS 12 at 8 o'clock.
If you're looking for another Colorado holiday tradition packed with lots of festive fun, the Denver Christkindlmarket is a beloved stop for many families.
One of my favorite holiday traditions. PBS 12's Erica McClarity visited the market with her kids, meeting the artists behind some of the handmade gifts, sampling traditional treats, and exploring what's new this season.
Popped up right here for the holidays. It's the Christkindlmarket. They're at a new location for their 25th year anniversary, which means more room for more traditions.
This is actually a great space because it's a lot bigger, so we have a lot more space for people to walk around. When it gets crowded, I think it's going to feel really comfortable here. The Tivoli building, that's the backdrop of the market here, actually has a German architect that built it, so we kind of feel right at home with that piece of history. So we start setting up this event for 2 weeks prior to opening, so it's a long process. Part of that is, we have the actual wooden huts that you will see at European Christmas markets, and that takes time to set up and build them. And then all the vendors, we have over 45 vendors, they need to move in. That's a lot of logistic, I think what makes us really special and this event special is how authentic it is. There's lots of German traditions here. You can have a lot of German food, German music. You come here, you shop, you get unique gifts that are either imported from Germany or you have local artisans that are making handcrafted things. And then we have obviously a lot of fun lights around and the Mile High Tree that Visit Denver puts on. It's kind of like this winter wonderland where you can shop, you can have a good time, you meet your family, you build traditions for your own. And for me personally, honestly, I'm from Germany, so I just fully embrace it. I told my family we're putting up Christmas decorations the second that we start build up so that I can get in the mindset. And so, pretty much beginning of November is when Christmas season starts.
New this year and hard to miss, a fully restored 42-foot tall carousel featuring hand-carved horses and vintage charm.
I want the nail polish. What do you think we use for the job?
Personally, I think a big part of the authenticity of this event too is you walk in and oftentimes you get the smell of cinnamon and sugar, and most people go to search where they find it, and it's the roasted almonds from Bob's Roasted Nuts. They're one of my favorites because you can find them at any German Christmas market and they're really, really delicious. And then I'm also really excited about the newer things we have. So we have, for example, like a food vendor that makes a German street food, which is called Döner. It's like a Döner kebab, so it's like a kebab in a loaf of bread with some fresh salad, and that's really delicious. That's just as much German culture as, you know, a traditional schnitzel.
Isn't that cool? My kids' favorite stop, Blinchiki Crepes. They are Russian-style crepes, both sweet and savory. My son went for the Pacific, which had smoked salmon, cream cheese, and pesto. My daughter, the sweet, with chocolate and powdered sugar.
These are all small businesses that rely heavily on their Christmas sales, and we're really happy to support them. Most of our vendors either make something very German or European. A lot of them are immigrants from Europe. We have, you know, Germans, Ukrainians, Polish, Russian, lots of nationalities come together here. And it's always a really nice synergy, and I think everyone has really some unique craft that they bring to this event. Being sort of an ambassador for what we do, I think that's really special. And I speak German a lot at the market because a lot of vendors do, you know.
In Deutsch, wir sagen frohe Weihnacht und ein glückliches neues Jahr. My first year was 2009 in Denver, and I have many people who comes every year and only just for me, and she looks and she say, oh, it's nice, and what is new one? This is only for Christmas, and we make this in East Germany, and it's a traditional product.
The products that are carried here, it's a good intersection between German and local. You do get to see some traditional pieces, but then you get to see something a little more modern and something in between. So we fit into that like Santa's tool chest of like having us make the product, and we are a woodworking company. Having something that is handcrafted by us and being able to talk about it and explain it and explain why it's cool and all the little details, that is super rewarding. 3 years ago, I did this market, and that was able to launch me to at least a financial point to open up 3 stores. This market makes up almost half of our revenue for the entire year. I love talking to people directly. It just adds an element of humanity to each one of our products.
The great thing is, you know, in true German tradition, the Christkindlmarket is free to the public. There's no entrance fee, so anyone can enjoy it and treat your kids to do something fun, but you don't have to spend a lot of money if you don't want to. And, you know, in this economy, I think it's good to have flexibility. And we're really happy that entertainment, all the live music, everything's free. I know it's a big thing to actually go to Europe and visit all the Christmas markets. So, you know, not everyone has that option. That's quite expensive. So it's fun to like bring it to Denver. It's a fun cultural immersion. And if you have no touch points with it, it's still fun. We have so many people though that are like, I did a DNA test and I'm 12% German, so now I'm here. And it's like, cool, like whatever it takes, you know, like explore it and just have fun with it.
So whether you're here for the food, the gifts, or just a little holiday spirit, the Christkindlmarket has something for everyone. Happy holidays. For PBS 12, I'm Erica McClarity.
Erica also wanted to highlight this year they're offering ornament glass blowing workshops hosted by master glass blowing artists.
For more information about those workshops and other events, go to christkindlmarketdenver.com. Tonight, we're honoring a Colorado broadcaster whose influence spans from the 1940s and all the way into the modern era.
Harry Hoth helped shape radio and television in southern Colorado from his early days at KRDO to helping launch KRDO TV, championing local service, and even serving as mayor of Colorado Springs.
Dave Rose shared memories of Harry's life, legacy, and enduring impact, and Harry's daughter, Patty, accepted the honor on his behalf. Here's more.
So I'm Dave Rose, and I'm here tonight for our first inductee from the 1940s to well into the 2000s, Harry Hoth left a lasting legacy, a lasting indelible mark on broadcasting in Colorado. So our first inductee tonight is the one and only Harry Hoth.
Harry Hoth was a member of the Greatest Generation, a World War II Marine. After the war, Harry took advantage of the GI Bill to attend Colorado College, and KRDO Radio was broadcasting just off campus from studios in the Alta Vista Hotel. Harry landed a part-time job at the radio station, and for the next 55 years, he would continue to make an indelible mark on Colorado broadcasting.
The Chamber of Commerce, the City Council, and the businessmen didn't want another radio station. That was when we first went on the air. We said, we're going to show you that we're part of this community.
In 1952, Harry persuaded the radio station to expand into television, and KRDO TV began broadcasting with the World Series in 1953. Over time, Harry advanced to president and then owner of KRDO Radio and Television. In the 1960s, KRDO FM was added to Pikes Peak Broadcasting, and KJCT TV in Grand Junction was added in the 1980s. KRDO and KJCT cameras and microphones were live for everything, from the Pikes Peak Hill Climb to the Pikes Peak or Bust Rodeo, high school and Air Force Academy football games, Colorado College hockey, and even square dance programs in the studio. He understood the important responsibilities that local broadcasters have to provide accurate, timely information, especially in times of crisis, to support and promote community organizations and activities, and keep the lines of communication open among people with differing opinions and concerns. Harry Hoth served as mayor of Colorado Springs from 1963 to 1967. He was twice named Colorado Broadcaster of the Year. He served as chairman of the ABC Affiliates Council, chaired a committee to establish and update standards for requirements for the emergency broadcast system, and every year, Colorado broadcasters from all over the state submit the best examples of the work they've done in hopes of winning the Colorado Broadcasters Association Harry W. Hoth Community Service Award.
We think you have to put something back into the community that you're working. And our job is to serve the community, and we're working in that area. We're here to make the community a better place in which to live, and that's what it's all about.
So tonight, we are proud to induct Harry W. Hoth into the inaugural class of the Colorado Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
Harry's daughter, Patty Hoth, is here to accept the award tonight. I should say, Patty and I started working at KRDO both at the age of 18.
Long time ago. Thank you very much for honoring my father.
When we celebrated his 90th birthday, the family handed out coasters that read "The One and Only Harry Hoth." I'm honored to be here tonight at Patty's invitation to share a few highlights from his broadcast life. Harry was a little older than most of the students on the Colorado College campus. He was a Marine in World War II. Tom Brokaw referred to those folks as the Greatest Generation. He joined the CC student body after the war on the GI Bill. A favorite hangout for CC students in the late 1940s was the lounge at the Alta Vista Hotel, just off campus. KRDO 1240 radio on the dial had its studios in the Alta Vista Hotel, and it wasn't long before Harry began working at the station. He helped primarily with promotions and marketing, but of course, he did what all of us did in the early days of radio, whatever was needed to be done. Now, it should be noted that during the war, the FCC had imposed a freeze on new television station licenses. Engineers and broadcast manufacturing plants were needed for the war effort. But when the FCC freeze was lifted in 1952, Harry persuaded the radio station owners to build a television station. One thing led to another. The radio station studios were moved and the television station was built at 399 South 8th Street, just southwest of downtown Colorado Springs. I'm told that investors in the risky new radio with pictures business wanted to make sure that the real estate they chose would retain its value if the risky TV station business didn't work out. So the building retained its functionality as a Hudson dealership, just in case. Of course, that was never Harry's plan B, and KRDO TV is still broadcasting from the never-to-be Hudson garage today. In the 1950s, when Harry was just starting to build his career in the business of broadcasting, he moved his family into the Bonneville subdivision. It was a typical post-war neighborhood. He quickly became leader in the new neighborhood. Some of his neighbors called him the mayor of Bonneville. And as a homeowner and business leader, Harry began to worry about how Colorado Springs was growing. Primarily, he became concerned that Colorado Springs would not have enough water to grow and prosper. So the mayor of Bonneville ran for Colorado Springs City Council in 1959, went on to serve as mayor of Colorado Springs from 63 to 67. Through his years of service and with his foresight and leadership at City Hall, Colorado Springs completed plans for the Homestake Water Project. It was a big, bold, risky project without which Colorado Springs would have run out of water decades ago. Harry believed local broadcasters should be champions for the communities they serve. He was a lifelong cheerleader for the Southern Colorado military installations, including Fort Carson, the Air Force Academy, and NORAD. KRDO, and then later KJCT, microphones and cameras, chronicled everything from Boy Scout and Girl Scout events to elections, parades, fireworks, pancake breakfasts, fairs, festivals, and all other activities in their community. Harry was a competitor. He liked to win, but when it came to the strengthening of community and to the broadcast industry, Harry was a collaborator. He understood the important roles of the National Association of Broadcasters and the Colorado Broadcasters Association in protecting this unique industry, which after all is licensed to use the public airwaves in the public interest. He respected and appreciated good broadcasters working hard to serve their communities. He worked to preserve the ability of local broadcasters to serve their communities, and he would recognize the immense pressures all broadcasters today are experiencing in the face of internet content producers who are not constrained by government regulators, have no requirement to act responsibly, no stake in any particular community, and in some cases, no moral compass. On behalf of Patty and the family, I say thank you to the Colorado Broadcasters Association for setting aside a place to share the lasting legacy of broadcasters like Harry Hoth, people who commit to strengthening the fabric of the communities they serve and work to maintain high standards in a noisy and often chaotic business environment. Thank you again.
Hoth passed away in 2016 and leaves a remarkable legacy. He truly believed that broadcasters should be champions for their communities.
And as we heard tonight, Harry Hoth didn't just shape local media. He helped shape Colorado Springs itself, from supporting military installations to leading the city as mayor.
The Colorado Broadcasters Association called him a true example of high standards in an ever-changing industry. Across the country, companies are still wrestling with the future of work. Should employees be at home, in the office, or some mix of both?
Here in Colorado, one Denver-based tech company has made a deliberate choice about that, one they say is strengthening their culture and downtown.
In tonight's The Business of Colorado, Franny Matthews takes us inside Ibotta's new approach and why they're investing in collaboration, connection, and the city's core.
Brian, thank you for joining us today. I am at Ibotta's headquarters in downtown Denver with Brian Leach, the CEO. Tell us about Ibotta.
Ibotta was born right here in Denver about 13 years ago. We started out at 18th
and Blake in the basement of an old fire station, and we were a direct-to-consumer cashback app. So you downloaded a mobile app, you bought things in the grocery store, you took a picture of your receipt with your app or your phone, and we gave you cashback rewards directly onto a PayPal account.
Talk to me about this commitment that you have made to downtown Denver with this office space.
Ibotta has always been very proud to be a Denver company. From the very earliest days when I would fundraise and people would say, why aren't you in California? Why aren't you in Boulder? I would explain to them that I'd rather be in Denver than in either of those places because it's actually a fantastic place to find talent, to build a business, a community that's really inclusive and supportive of each other. And so when we began, not only were we located in Lodo, but we also made sure that everybody knew we were a Denver company. For the first several years when you loaded our mobile app, it said designed and built in Denver, Colorado with the little mountains on it.
I think the thing that you have to think about when you are making a decision like the one we did to invest in a place like this for our employees, when certainly a lot of businesses are making the choice to go fully remote, save on the overhead of rental expenses, you have to think about who you are as an organization and what are the things that are most important about your culture. And so sense of place has always been really important to Ibotta. And we've always been a company that highly values the idea of bringing people together to collaborate in person.
We're on the 16th Street Mall, which Denver just completely renovated, and it's vibrant, right? And we want to be not only part of that ourselves, but we want to lead a movement back into downtown Denver and lower downtown Denver amongst all the other tech companies that are deciding, well, should we be in office? Should we be downtown? Should we be in the tech center? We want them to come to the urban core of Denver and be part of a critical mass of innovation.
Tell me a little bit about your thought process on creating this space for your teams.
Yeah, we always want to create a place where we can convert the highest percentage of our team's good ideas into reality. So one of our values as a company is a good idea can come from anywhere. And what we first do is create a sense of shared context. So we want you to understand what our mission is, make every purchase rewarding. We want you to understand what our strategy is, what our metrics are. And then once you understand that, we want you to boldly suggest ideas and know that we'll run with the best ideas, even if they're not my ideas. And very often they're not my ideas as the founder. We want to create a space where you can tease out those ideas and where we can teach you how to present that as a business case. And the more unconventional, the better. Because if it's a conventional idea, it's already being done. If it's unconventional, we want to teach you to look for the merit in those possible breakthrough ideas and not just sort of scuttle them right at the outset by saying, oh, that's already been tried or that'll never work because. So we create spaces that are designed to be those collaboration zones so that people can whiteboard ideas or they can riff back and forward. And we want that to be a place where they can spark off of each other.
There's a term called accidental collaboration.
Yeah.
Have you seen some accidental collaboration in the environment here?
Yeah, I think a funny story is actually we were just in our little huddle space and chatting about what's the next big thing that we can do for Thanksgiving, for example. And it turned into like an impromptu brainstorm where we just started thinking of new, messaging and creative approaches. And we actually kind of joked around and threw it on the calendar retroactively and said, oh, that was a brainstorm, when it was really just us talking next to our desk. I think when we're in those collaboration moments in person, it's allowed me to think more strategically about marketing and working more in that space and pushed me to think a little bit differently. So now I think that's kind of developed where I want to be and how I want to grow my career. And it's through those conversations and opportunities that have allowed me to think more strategically.
We are increasing our space by 20% in a time that a lot of companies are kind of going in the opposite direction. And part of that was to say, we want to create a space where people are going to come together. We want to create a space where both our folks here who are hybrid, who work in the office 3 days a week, can have remote interactions that are productive and creative and inspiring with their fully remote colleagues. And we want a place where our fully remote colleagues want to come into the office. So whether that's, they come in occasionally because they live within commuting distance, or whether that's because they fly in and spend a week here working with their peers, we wanted it to be an exciting place that drew them kind of into the center and the hub of who we are as an organization.
How have you taken the space and also kind of elevated your mentoring structure and programs at Ibotta?
So my background is in organizational improvement and learning and development. So mentorship is really important to me as well. And so I think there's two things. From the physical space, it was really important that we create spaces where people feel comfortable having conversations. And I think that's at the core of what good mentorship is you have to be in a relationship where you trust the person, and the physical space can aid in that. So a lot of what we've built here is, of course, formal conference rooms, boardrooms, places where you can take private phone calls, but it was equally important that we create what we call breakaway spaces, kind of soft seating corners where you can kind of be more casual, almost recreating a coffee shop feel, where you might go and have that conversation with that mentor about whatever that deep problem is that you're working on, or whatever that wisdom is that you're kind of looking to impart in that next generation of leaders who you might be mentoring. So it's reflected in our space. And then as an organization, we invest heavily in mentorship. So we have a mentorship program that we run. We have different employee resource groups who are engaged in mentoring. And one of the things that we really did when we designed the space was go to our employees and kind of ask them what are they hoping to get out of it. And so we hope that bringing people in, whether it's long-term mentoring relationships, people that they've been mentoring with for a while, or just the opportunity to run into somebody at our water cooler, which we now actually have. I see people there over the last 3 mornings. I've seen people there every morning, kind of filling up and talking, and it reminds me that engagement, that interaction, that person-to-person communication is really healthy.
I think from a mental health standpoint, you want to feel connected to your team and to the mission of what you're doing. And so if you're just a box on a screen with your colleagues and they're just a box on the screen, your investment in them as a person, as a friend, as a mentor is just different. Doesn't mean it's not valuable, but over the long run, we believe strongly that getting people together physically is critical to creating a culture that cares about each other. And there are different forms of mentorship that can't happen online. So one of the things that happens a lot with young people in their career is they kind of are working on something and they're not sure they're doing it right. And they kind of swivel around their chair and they say to their colleague or mentor, could you come look at this? Am I thinking about this the right way? Some people call this is there anything in my teeth form of mentorship, right? Like, could you just quickly give me a gut check on this? You're not gonna set up a Zoom call just to walk through that because it occurred to you and you want to keep moving on your project.
I've read several studies that have said if you just have one friend at work, it changes your point of view on your job and your job satisfaction. Talk a little bit about what it's doing for your teammates' mental health.
Yeah, I think maybe I've read a similar study, and I do think it's really important, I think, to think about the fact that as humans, we are social creatures. Even the most, I'll use the term introverted of us, of which I actually count myself in that group. We still need that human connection. And a lot of that can certainly be met through digital tools. And so I think that we've bridged a lot of those gaps, but there is really no substitute for kind of the full human interactions.
Yeah, that is a good point, because one of the things I love about being with people is that collaboration, the magic that happens between humans that you can't recreate on a virtual call. But the need for being able to do deep work. So that's kind of interesting to be able to do it here. Are there some architectural and space things that you did specifically for that purpose?
Yeah, so the most important thing that we did and that our design company worked with us on is really making sure that we have soundproof spaces. So we have a couple of different ways that we're controlling the sound. One is just through enhanced doors and walls and making sure that there are the physical barriers that hold sound in. The other piece is just creating enough space for people to kind of hop into a phone booth and close the door and sort of shut out the world behind them so that they can do that deep work.
I can see all over the integration of technology to actually help humans collaborate. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you've done with technology to help that collaboration?
Yeah, so we really tried to take a look at the old office and coming into the new office here at 16 Market and say, what works and what do people actually need when they're integrating with tech? And so the biggest pain point that we always want to try to solve for is the ease of use. Every single user wants the technology to be able to not be a barrier to their workspace, but to actually propel them forward. And so we really looked at how can we integrate our technologies in a way that empowers the user to be functional faster. So we really looked for ways that the conference rooms would be something as simple as the schedulers on the outside of every conference room. So at a quick glance, you can see, hey, this room is available or somebody's working in there. You don't have to press your face against the glass to go, oh, I probably shouldn't walk into that conference room.
Yeah, look, people work differently. And so some people need to block out time even while they're in the office where they don't have meetings, and you can do the deep work here from your office. Some people need quiet spaces in the office where they're not going to be constantly interrupted so they can write the code they need to write. We need to respect that that needs to exist within the office environment. And some people want to have a day where they can get caught up on everything for 3-4 hours on a Friday afternoon and not have to be pulled into meetings. And so should we have a moratorium on meetings in the summer after a certain period of time? There's a lot of different creative ways to think about accommodating how folks want to work.
I have one more question on the idea of coming back to the office that every leader I hear talk about, which is there's a pushback in many organizations because teammates might feel like it's a control thing rather than a collaboration thing. How do you work that into your culture so people don't feel like it's I gotta do this as I get to do it?
I mean, I think if we told people before the pandemic we were going to give you the opportunity to stay at home geographically, for a significant portion of the week, they'd think we were the most progressive, uncontrolling organization of all time. Now the norms shift and they're shifting back. And so what control is relative to what your expectations are when you take a job. We're very clear with people, this is how we work before they sign up to work here, and they're signing on to that way of collaborating. And I think you get the best of both worlds. And I think the kinds of people that want to come work here can't wait to get into the office and collaborate. They don't view that as a negative, or they wouldn't sign up to work here. There are plenty of fully remote companies out there you can choose to work for. We're not one of them.
We've always focused on how do we reduce the friction, how do we make the space easy to use, and then how do we make the moments meaningful so that people who are here are doing things that they couldn't be doing if they were working from home and they were in a remote environment. We have this lovely collaborative process where we ask employees to nominate famous people who embody our values, and they have to tell us why they embody the values. And then we go through a process of review, and so you'll find a lot of our conference rooms are named for Jokic, which is the room that we're in. And then we also have a conference room named for, our training room is named for Ernest Shackleton. And we have several conference rooms that are named for poets and artists. And we really feel that the naming process is something that reflects who we are and also reflects who we aspire to be. And they are the folks that if they were working for us in Ibotta, we would know what values they represent.
Personally, what's your favorite?
My favorite is we named a room after Fred Rogers. And so that was one that I was very excited to see end up on the list. I did not nominate Mr. Rogers, but we were excited to have a room that we were able to name for him.
Brian, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And this is a beautiful space, and I look forward to coming back.
Thanks for having me.
Ibotta's story is part of Denver's story. It's a company choosing to grow in the heart of the city, investing in people and designing spaces that bring ideas to life.
And it's a reminder that the future of work isn't just about where we do our jobs, but how we stay connected while doing that.
As we near the end of tonight's show, we wanted to highlight that today is the last day to donate for Colorado Gives Day. There are only a few hours left.
Time may be running out, but there's still an opportunity to give and also receive a special offer too. Here's Tom Mustin with more.
Hi there, I'm Tom Mustin, and I wanted to tell you about a powerful statewide movement happening right now. Colorado Gives Day. Colorado Gives Day is officially on December 9th, but early giving is already underway, and people across the state are stepping up to support the nonprofits that help make our state so great. Colorado Gives Day isn't just a fundraising movement. It's a celebration, generosity, community, and commitment. It's the largest giving day in the entire state of Colorado. Thousands of nonprofits benefit from it, and millions of dollars are raised every year to support organizations doing meaningful work. And PBS 12 is proud to be a media partner for Colorado Gives Day. In honor of Colorado Gives Day, we're running a very exciting contest. Donors who give $250 or more through coloradogives.org anytime between now and December 9th will be automatically entered to win a pair of round-trip tickets for domestic flights on Southwest Airlines, the official airline of Colorado Gives Day. So not only will you be supporting all the great programming offered here on PBS 12, but you'll also have a chance to win a flight for you and one guest, courtesy of Colorado Gives Foundation and Southwest Airlines. All you have to do is make a gift of at least $250 through the Colorado Gives website before December 9th, and you'll automatically be entered to win. To give today, go to pbs12.co/cogives. Once again, that's pbs12.co/cogives. That link will take you directly to our station's donation page on coloradogives.org. I'm Tom Mustin, and from all of us here at PBS 12, thank you for supporting Colorado Gives Day. Thank you for supporting public media, and thank you for supporting Colorado's stories.
Thank you so much, Tom, and thank you all for your generous giving and support of PBS 12.
Be sure to catch us again here on Studio 12 next Tuesday night at 8. You can also follow us on social media and YouTube.
I'm Ryan Harrer.
And I'm Bazi Kanani.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great week.